Yeah, it's not really a reaction, is it? I realised at the last minute there I've had a bit of a nightmare. Forgive me, please. There's a lot going on at the moment. A lot going on today. We are doing a bit of a live preview, which we've never done on the channel at all. Asim has joined me to preview Celtic versus Real Madrid. Asim, how are you feeling?
Genuinely, I can't remember the last time I was this excited for a game. I think...
Saturday.
Not genuinely, I think, has there ever been a more eagerly anticipated Celtic match since maybe, I don't know, Seville? If you think about it, like, I just feel everything is aligned for what should be a special night, and you can just feel it. There's something special in the air, so I'm buzzing for it. I've not slept. I've been up since 5 a.m. and I've barely slept. So aye.
Is that what you look like after waking up at 5 a.m? You should see me waking up at 5 a.m. Everyone would be turning off. Thankfully, I got a wee bit of a lie in till about 8 a.m. I think, before I was checking the Twitter and checking all the old highlights. Ended up watching AC Milan beating us 3-0 10 years ago. That's the kind of place I'm in. I'm watching us losing these games because I'm just so hyped for the Champions League to be back. So I thought in this video, I explained yesterday with Joe briefly, we're just going to do things a little bit differently for tonight's game. At least we want to get maximum enjoyment out of tonight. We want you to get the same. So we thought we could bring you a live preview right now, and then tomorrow kind of lunchtime we'll have a kind of review show as well. So no reaction tonight. Don't tweet me. Don't put stuff in the comments of this video asking where the reaction is later, because we're not doing one, but we will be back tomorrow. But this video is all about getting up for the game. We've got predicted 11s for both teams. We've got a bit of chat about Ange's press conference yesterday, which I thought was really interesting. The thing that gets me, you believe, without putting words into your mouth, you believe we can beat Real Madrid tonight?
Yeah, 100%, and that's not, just bravado. I genuinely think the way we're going into this game, such confidence, the way Ange has instilled such belief in this group of players, I think the players genuinely believe it.
Yeah,
I heard yesterday.
Matt O'Reilly.
Yeah, and I don't think they're just saying that. I don't think that's just sound bites. I think that is part of what Ange brings to the squad, is that inner belief that they can compete if we stick to how we want to play. Look, it's going to be a tough ask, but I'm going into it with genuine confidence that, even if it doesn't go our way, I think we'll come away from that game tonight, playing our way and being true to the style, and that's all you can ask for.
Feeling good about ourselves.
Yeah, 100%.
You believe we can beat Real Madrid. I, strangely enough, believe we can beat Real Madrid. The amount of people I've spoken to, the amount of people that have replied to my tweets saying, I've got this funny feeling that we can beat Real Madrid tonight, and I'd say it's still a relatively, not a long shot, but it's certainly an outside chance of beating them. Let's be honest, Real Madrid are still big favourites for the game tonight. But what does it say that so many people believe in Ange, and believe in this group of players, that we can beat the reigning European champions? 12 months ago, we're playing against Midtjylland, and you're not, no disrespect to them, you're not sure we can even put them out. We couldn't put them out. Tonight we'll see how it goes, but just touching like the belief that everyone feels. I mean, I'm seeing the comments already. 2-0 Celtic, 2-1 Celtic, 3-2 Celtic there. Are we daft? Are we underselling Madrid? What's going on?
No, I think there's a number of factors at play here. If we just look at it firstly from a Celtic point of view, we could not be going into it in better form. It's just, you've heard all the plaudits. We've heard everyone talk about it. It's as good as we've been for a long time. We've not been tested. Obviously, Europe is a whole new test, but you just feel that with Ange, with the way he's set the team up, the way he's instilled that belief in the players. I heard yesterday Joe Ledley said when they beat Barcelona they were quite shocked. I think with this group of players it wouldn't shock them. If we were to come and get a victory tonight, I don't think it would be shocked. I think they genuinely believe that we've got something special going on here. And the other factor is the Real Madrid side. I think they can be got at. They're a team that they don't often blow teams away. So I think there's that aspect as well. They're known to drop points in the group stages, and I just want us to really put in a good account of ourselves. And with that, I don't think we're daft to believe. I think we could genuinely do
it. The thing that I'm looking forward to seeing is how, Real Madrid are an incredible side. They're European champions. I would stop short of saying they're the best team in Europe. I think there's probably at least a couple of teams that are better than them collectively, but in terms of, they probably are the best team in Europe because they won the Champions League, a couple of months ago. But they're a very good side with very experienced players. But having said all of that, I would still love to see them tonight up against a Celtic team at full throttle, taking quick corners, taking quick throw-ins, real quality, real intensity to their play with that atmosphere. I feel like that's the kind of thing we've been lacking in these games recently, these Champions League games. The atmosphere is always there. The atmosphere is always there. Celtic support are incredible. Ange called them, Champions League support last night. But the performances at home, I don't think have kind of fed off that atmosphere enough. I'm talking about the Brendan Rodgers days, and I just felt we were quite passive in these matches at home. You left these games just kind of thinking, we didn't really give a great account of ourselves. We might lose tonight, but as you say, I am so confident that this team is going to have a right go at Madrid, is going to be taking things quickly, is going to be unsettling them. Everything Ange says in these games is about making the better team unsettled, and I think we're going to do that tonight. And they've got Modric, they've got Kroos, they've got all of these amazing players, but I think even a night like tonight could unsettle a team like that if this Celtic team and the crowd are at their best.
You want us to make it hell for them. You want us to make that a horrible experience, not a tick box. We played at Celtic Park, it was a great atmosphere. You want that to be uncomfortable.
Do the fans have a part to play in that?
100%. I think we feed off the players, and the players will feed off us as well. But you're right, I'm going back to Martin O'Neill's time, where I actually thought, I know we've had a good record under Strachan as well and Neil Lennon, but if you're talking about Celtic Park being that kind of fortress where teams hated coming, that was the Martin O'Neill. I don't know, we didn't even get out the groups, but we won those. I think we won 5 out of 6 of his first 2 Champions League campaigns. You had the likes of Bayern Munich coming and almost, I know it gets repeated often, doesn't it? But I remember going to those games. There was a game against Lyon. We made it hell for these guys. And you're right, Ange, when he says that, players like Modric, Kroos, they want time on the ball. They want to play. I heard Vinicius's comments yesterday. I don't know if it was lost in translation, but I do not think these guys have done a lot of homework on us. I think Real Madrid tend to probably just turn up in the early group stages and just trust their own talent that they'll win, and they'll get the job done.
Which is fair enough.
But 100%. They've earned that right. They've won 5-6 Champions Leagues in the last decade. But that's where we can really spook them, because our style of play is exactly what they won't want, which is in their faces right from the off. You want us to be celebrating throw-ins and corners and that feeling where it's just that roar. And I think if we do that and the players do that and the crowd feeds off that, we will scare them. We will scare them, and you can just imagine the place. If we score that first goal.
Yeah, I tweeted that earlier. It would be amazing. I mean, scaring them's one thing. Getting even a draw out of the game is another thing, and I think that's my big thing tonight, is that Real Madrid are so obviously going to have spells in the game, and they just have so much quality. I mean, I spoke about it yesterday, a Modric pass, a Vinicius run in behind, or most likely a Karim Benzema goal out and all. I mean, we talk like not even half chances, quarter chances he gets, and he puts the ball in the back of the net, and it's kind of like, what do you do about that?
Having watched a bit of Madrid both last season in the Champions League and even in the Liga, I do tend to kind of watch a bit of them. They're very much that kind of team. Often you're watching them and you're not overly impressed by them, but they've got Modric, Kroos, Vinicius, Benzema, who in the flick of a, you look at 2 of their La Liga away games this season.
Espanyol game, I saw that.
Espanyol and Almeria, I think they were down as well. They weren't playing great, but a bit of quality, and they'll get back in it. So they can do that, but it just shows you that they're a team that can be got at if you make it uncomfortable for them. I don't want us to be passive. I remember going into the PSG game with equal amount of excitement under Brendan Rodgers. I think it was the first group game that season, and Brendan kind of promised this attacking football as well, but I thought we were neither here nor there. It was within 5 minutes, we were yards off them. We weren't playing that kind of aggressive way, but I just don't see that happening tonight. I think we will, and we may struggle at times, but I don't want us to make it a comfortable game for them.
One thing I do wonder about, and just looking at Ange's previous record, you look at, for me, the obvious comparison with what we're going through at the moment in the Champions League is the 2014 World Cup. It was Australia going into that group, and their first game they play Chile, and they're 2-0 down inside 15 minutes, and we spoke, I think, to Mili Jedinak the other day, and he said that they hadn't started at all at that stage. So I hope that doesn't happen tonight. I hope that, because I dare say before that World Cup, I know Ange didn't have, I think he had like 6 months or something with the team prior to that, and obviously international camps aren't the same as the club scene, but Australia started that World Cup really slowly. I hope Celtic players don't kind of start slow tonight. I hope Ange just has it drummed into them. We start fast tonight, and even if Ange does have that drummed into him, I hope the players think that as well, because it must be easy for a lot of them to go out tonight and to be looking at Modric and players like that and thinking, should I be in this stage? I mean, I know they've got immense belief. Riley spoke about it yesterday, but there must be a bit of that there.
He was playing at MK Dons a year ago,
That's
and now
what
he's
I mean.
up again. So
you go through even someone like Jota, who we love, couldn't get a game with Benfica.
Yeah. You look at if you look at our whole kind of what's likely to be our starting lineup tonight, it's you've got 3 players that were playing in the Japanese league. You've got Juranovic playing in Poland. Carter Vickers was being loaned about in the Championship. Jens at Lorient. Like we said, Matt O'Reilly. Abada was playing in Israel. This is a massive step up, but it's such an opportunity for them to really show what they can do. And I don't think they're short of belief.
What do you make of that team, by the way? Because that is my predicted 11. Have you got any? Because obviously the big calls are it's probably over Kyogo. Is he fit enough? I personally, Ange likes to keep us all guessing.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that maybe off the bench with Yakimakis starting.
I seen clips of him in training. Hard to gauge. I don't know if he was moving too freely, but if he's okay, I would start him. But are you basing that on the fact that you think he's maybe not 100%?
Yeah, as I say, just reading into Ange's comments, Ange loves to keep everyone guessing. He speaks about that, the media included, the Celtic fans included, and you're always wondering, is he just kind of playing it down? And he was very, very vague, I thought, yesterday when he was talking about Kyogo cards close to the chest.
Yep.
I just would assume, I saw clips of Kyogo yesterday. He didn't seem to be moving particularly well, and I just think, when you've got a player like Yakimakis there who did really well on Saturday, didn't score again and should have had a goal, but did really well on Saturday, I think you're fine with that. The one thing I would say is that I think if both were totally fit, you start Kyogo, because I think his movement, he has elite level movement, and his movement will cause even Real Madrid defenders, Alaba, Militao problems.
Yeah, I think ideally, for me, if Kyogo was fit, like I know with the Rangers games, it's always kind of been a toss up because of who maybe works more effectively. For this kind of game, I 100% ideally would want Kyogo, just his pressing, his movement, his pace. I think even Maeda, I know you had Abada there in your lineup. I would go with Maeda again. Just I want
you would drop Liel.
I know
2 goals against that lot of Abada.
It's a toss of a coin for the two of them, but what Maeda brings, I think. Again, I just want it to be a horrible night for those Real Madrid players. I want people buzzing in around them and just constantly nipping at their heels, and I think he can do that. And again, it's the beauty of the squad, because there will be spells where Real Madrid will have obviously a foothold in the game, but I want us, like you say, set that tone early on. If you look in our previous kind of Champions League campaigns, I feel like the first 5-10 minutes often set the tone.
Yeah.
So the ones where we've been good, Man City, even the Bayern one where we lost 2-1, I thought we were decent, but we started well. But then you've got the Borussia Mönchengladbach game, the PSG, and it's quite a passive opening, and then the atmosphere falls a bit flat. I don't see that happening tonight. And I think that's why I would have the likes of Maeda, hopefully if Kyogo's fit, and just make it hellish for them early on. And then you've got those options to bring on if we're still in the game, and we see how that kind of pans out.
I think both teams have scored tonight.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, they've lost a goal in every game so far in the league as well.
I just think there's so much quality in the attacking areas, and I do honestly think it's going to be very similar to a lot of the Europa League games last year. The 2 games against Betis, the game away to Leverkusen, even the home game, very end-to-end matches away in Hungary against Ferencváros. We're obviously up against a better side tonight, but I still think there'll be a real end-to-end element of it. Am I right in assuming that? Is there any chance that it's scrappy kind of?
No. I don't see that happening. I think you're right. Even if you look at that Leverkusen game at home, a lot gets made of that, but it could have been 1-up in a minute. I'm sure Kyogo was through. We actually started that game pretty well, and then they obviously pounced on a couple of errors, but we did well in the Europa groups last season, and I think we're now a much stronger team, a much stronger squad. A year down the line in terms of the way Ange wants us to play. No, I can see it being an end-to-end game. I think the way Real Madrid will set up as well, I don't think they'll go gung-ho from the start either. I think they're quite they kind of observe how the game goes.
Yeah,
they
let you come on to them.
So, and I think again, that's for me, out of all the top teams we could have played, I'm glad it's Real Madrid. I think it suits us, because I think your Liverpools or your Man Cities, they'll come and just absolutely do the same as what we were trying to do, and ultimately maybe got better quality. Real Madrid play a different way. They, like you said, they've got an ageing midfield, an absolutely quality midfield, but they're not runners. There's not a lot of legs in Modric and Kroos. Benzema as well, like you said, it's moments of quality.
Asim's just ended the career of 3 of the greatest players ever.
To be honest, it's 3 that I've never seen.
Same.
I've seen all the other big hitters, but yeah, I've never seen the three of them. So, but I don't want it to be one of those nights.
No.
I don't want applauses for when they're going off. I don't want any of that. I want this to be old school, a horrible night for the opposition.
Yeah.
And I think that's what will set us, and that's what makes everyone so kind of confident that we can do something.
Let's look at the opposition. Not a bad side.
No.
This that colour, by the way, apologies about that. I believe that's what they'll be wearing tonight, although they do have a third kit which is black, so it could well be that. Let's hope that it is that, because I'm not a fan of that. But any obvious weaknesses there, Asim?
I think
that's obviously just predictable.
Yeah, I think that left side's very attacking for them, so they'll have Mendy and Vinicius. So again, that could play into who we go down on the right hand side, because Mendy's an attacking fullback, Carvajal's a bit more conservative. Tchouameni's a good signing for them, but it's his first kind of. I thought they might go Camavinga, because I know he's came on quite a lot in their Champions League games. But again, he's quite young and inexperienced.
Played at the weekend, I think. And I think from that, the only other change would be Valverde coming in on the right. Not a bad sub to bad sub to have at all. I mean, they've got real quality. I mean, a player like Eden Hazard can't even get in the team. I know he's been struggling over the last couple of years. But
the other thing as well, though, remember you've got Modric and Kroos, who were so used to having Casemiro as their kind of insurance policy, in a lot of the games. And obviously with him not being there, they've now got Tchouameni who kind of has that role, but inexperience. And again, that's something that, look, it's quality all over. But I feel like looking at that side, it's a side that we can get at. It's a side that we can have joy against. And just talking about it, I can't wait.
I mean, it is amazing just to be able to chat about players like Tchouameni and that as being like a weak point. And it's just, I mean, that's the thing I'm taking away from this morning. I walked up, here we are in Babity Bowster, by the way, great boozer, etc. Everyone is just buzzing about this game. So many people, seeing me with the gear on, speaking to me, or you going tonight, have you got a ticket? So many people unable to get tickets tonight. So many people just absolutely buzzing to see how Celtic get on against, one of the giants of Europe. And it feels, I mean, it is only it's only 5 years since the last time, but it does feel ages since. I mean, I don't know about you, but it felt like those Rodgers games at the end were just like when Bayern Munich and that were coming to town. It wasn't quite, cause you just had a fair idea that you weren't going to get the result. Whereas this, I mean, who knows? It may go pear-shaped tonight, and we'll take, if that happens, we take our medicine and move on. But just having this back and the buzz of being able to, all this stuff yesterday of seeing the Real Madrid players, landing in Glasgow and going to the hotel, and last night in the stadium, and players like Vinicius and managers like Ancelotti chatting about Celtic publicly. It's amazing for Celtic to be back here, and we need to be back here every year. 100%.
We need to make this more regular, because like you said, the last time was Anderlecht, wasn't it, away? Home, and it was such a disappointing game. I remember we got through, but it was awful. And who would have thought it'd take us another 5 years to get back in? So you're just absolutely buzzing for it. And even if you just look 12 months ago, who'd have thought we'd have been in this situation when Ange first walked in?
Yeah.
And obviously a couple of years ago we weren't even able to get to the games, and that's what just makes this all the more special. I was thinking 2 years ago, I don't even remember the game now that well, but it was AC Milan behind closed doors, and I just it was. It's just night and day.
It's funny because I did the video a couple of weeks ago, and I was chatting about Ibrahimovic, coming to Celtic Park, and I actually said he's played at Celtic Park once with Ajax. Completely forgot, literally 2 years ago he'd been at Celtic Park. So I mean that was just forgettable, obviously for loads of reasons, but it's just going to be box office tonight.
And the thing you said is it can go anyway tonight, but I think win, lose or draw, I think the Celtic fans right now, there's such a connection between manager, players, club. It's even just that whole build up tonight, when when the players are coming out and the flag's fluttering, and that's the Champions League song comes on and they're going across the players. Just even all that is just going to be special. Then in itself is something that will live long in the memory, and it's just you cannot. I think it's one of those ones where I genuinely feel something special's in there. I genuinely feel that. I feel like everything's aligned for an epic night.
It does. I mean, it does feel to me as if everything, even since Ange has come to the club, has been kind of leading up to this moment. I mean, football doesn't work like that. Perfect scripts don't tend to exist very often in football. but sometimes they do, and I just wonder if, you know, everything that we've seen tonight has been leading up to this. It's going to be magic. Right? Let's have a wee chat about Ange then, because yesterday you've probably seen his press conference by now. I thought he was in brilliant form. Several Celtic fan media outlets were also present. We weren't one of them. I think we've got Leipzig before the game, or maybe it's Shakhtar, but Ange was in brilliant form yesterday. I was surprised that his and Celtic's game plan was such a major talking point ahead of the match, given, you know, that we've known this is going to be the case ever since we qualified for the Champions League, and given that we went up against good sides in the Europa League last year and he didn't really change at all. Is that just the kind of, is that just the media kind of looking at things they can ask, really? Yeah,
I think so. Like, it's just the obvious question, because he's been so bold and so outspoken about, you know, well, it's not even him, it's often the questions that he gets asked, but, you know,
he does look pretty kind of
fed up with it, because it's like, it's a year down the line now, and, you know, the proof's in the pudding. He's not, like you said, in the Europa League, and now, look, that's not to say that we can't adapt in game, or 100%. You know, it's not one extreme or the other.
Matt O'Reilly said that yesterday. Ange said it in the open goal interview. It's not this whole idea of there's two approaches. One is, you know, Jens is running up the left wing in the first 5 minutes, and the other one is, you know, park the bus. You know, it just doesn't work like that. I think Celtic are going to pass the ball. I thought on Saturday, tactically, was a bit different from Celtic. I didn't feel that it was, I thought it was the same result or a similar result to the 3-0 against Rangers last year, but I thought it was a very different game in terms of the fact that we actually allowed them to have a lot more of the ball, but when they gave it away, we were just devastating. And I wonder if Ange had tonight in the back of his mind when he was preparing for that, because tonight Real Madrid are probably going to have the majority of the ball, I would say, even though, you know, they do allow the opposition to have it, and if we can be just as devastating on the counter-attack, you know, we will get goals.
I think you made that point on Saturday, that it did seem like a ploy at certain points that we let them come with it. In terms of tonight, I don't know if that would, because of Modric and Kroos, their strength is their passing, so I don't know if I'd be as comfortable allowing them long spells of it.
Than Lundstrom,
do you know what I mean? So I'd rather us be a bit more tighter on those, and look, you can only do that for a certain amount of time in a game, obviously intensity and things, but that's where you can utilise the squad. But I would rather maybe not allow Madrid to get too comfortable in the game. But as you said, if we've been coached to play a certain way all year, why would you change that? Why would you then suddenly try and do something? I think that's the problem that, you know, Rangers have had almost, is that they play a certain way in Europe, but they don't know how to adapt to domestically. You know, because they're just then clueless as to, like, they're so used to making games bitty and scrappy. Whereas with us, we're an attacking team who like to take risks, keep the ball. Why would you suddenly then go to something alien when you're coming up against it? He mentioned it so many times. He wants us to test ourselves doing what we've been doing.
That's what he said. I mean, I think the quote yesterday was, you know, why play this certain way? Then when you get a chance to test yourself against the elite, you go and change your way of playing. So it's crazy when he says these things, and it just makes so much sense. The other one he said yesterday that I thought was magic was a question from Chris McLaughlin at the BBC about, I think, again, it was tempering fans' expectations. I thought it was a kind of a negatively slanted question, but I guess to an extent, you know, these things have to be asked. And Ange's response was, so you want me to burst everyone's bubble? You want me to bring a downer to this whole experience? No, I'm glad our supporters are buzzing about it. I've got no problem with that. That's what we love about the game. I want our supporters dreaming about big games, big wins and winning things. That's the role of us as a football club. I'm sure they get enough of their bubble burst in their normal lives on a daily basis. It doesn't need me to bring them down and tell them not to come here too excited because it might not go well. My role is to make sure they come bouncing in, and hopefully we send them bouncing out.
He hits the right chord every time, doesn't he? Everything he says, you hang on to his every word, and it's not just sound bites. Like in the past, we've had managers, you know, Brendan Rodgers, who, you know, you'll say things, and with him, you know it's all. He's so humble, he's so genuine. He had a similar kind of quote last year after the Rangers game. I think it was a 3-0 game in February, where talking about fans, you know, having a lot to deal with in their and that's what you just resonate so much with this guy, because he gets it. I know that line gets used a lot, but he genuinely puts himself in the fans' shoes. He knows what, you know, that 90 minutes is an escape for a lot of fans to go and just see football that they love to see passion, and that's what he's been delivering. Like, I've not seen the amount of joy that we've had this season talking to fans around the stadiums, or just generally. There's such an air of good, you know, a feel-good factor. that we've not had for so long, and a lot of that's down to him, and a lot of that's down to how he even comes across, because it's not just as a coach, it's as a person. You really buy into him, and I feel like that makes such a difference, because we've had managers in the past who've been successful, but I don't know, maybe a kind of flippancy with there's not been that same connection with the fans. Maybe Gordon Strachan comes to mind, you know. I don't feel that with him. You just feel full buy-in with this group, with this manager, and that's what makes tonight all the more, like you said, perfect scripts aren't often written, but I just feel that something in there.
Something in the air, everyone. He's just a genuine. I think he's just a genuine fan and a genuine guy as well. I mean, I think the vast majority of managers, when they're asked that question, maybe 9 out of 10 just give it the stock response of, you know, the players are focused and we don't get bothered by expectation type thing. Whereas Ange is not almost, he's welcoming the expectation, and he's welcoming. He wants fans to dream, and he wants everyone to go to the stadium tonight and believe in the team. So it's going to be absolutely magic. Ancelotti has never won at Celtic Park. The other stat that I had now, Paul Byers on Twitter, I think he watches the channel actually, saying that we've never won a Champions League opening group stage game. I find that hard to believe, but I was thinking back, and it must be true. It's mad.
Yeah, no, I think we've won a Europa League one, but never a Champions League one. Can you remember the last home Champions League victory? It's been a while. Ajax. Yeah. I think it's 6-7 years ago now.
So more than that, mate. It would be nearly 10. I think that was 2013.
Oh, that's right. It was a year after the last 16 one. So yeah, it's been a long time coming. Ancelotti's, he'll know what to expect. He's obviously been to Celtic Park a couple of times. He doesn't strike me as a manager that pays like if we were playing against a Guardiola or something, like their attention to details second to. I think Ancelotti's quite a calm kind of manager. So I don't know. I think that Real Madrid will come. I don't know how much homework they've done on us, but I genuinely think we can spook them. I don't know how much they'll be well versed on the things like that we've been effective at, like the quick throw-ins and things like that. I think they lost a goal from that as well at the weekend. So that's something that maybe they're could be one of their weaknesses if we play at that same pace and tempo.
See it happening, genuinely.
There's genuine hope.
Genuine hope. Just the spectacle of tonight as well. I mean, I tweeted yesterday, I love the wee details in the Champions League, and there's loads of them I've forgotten about as well. Folk replied to me saying the thing the announcement read over the tannoy in the foreign language, just stuff like just that.
Small things, isn't
it? The latest scores, the goal updates you get on the big screen during like the first and second.
They normally show you half-time highlights of the other games.
You feel as if you're part of something. And even the night before, I mean, I thought last night was just brilliant. As I say, seeing all those Real players, those big names training at Celtic Park.
You said it a couple of weeks ago when the draw got made that you hope it was Madrid first. I think at the time I was like, would I rather? But see, as it came like closer to the game, I think you're bang on. I just think it's just set up perfectly. And then, look, tonight people have called it a free hit. When they say that, I don't think it's one of those. I don't want us to go and get embarrassed tonight, and I don't think we will. But a free hit in terms of, yes, we're all quite quietly confident that we can do something, but there's no expectation on us, and I don't think there's going to be some massive backlash if things don't go well. Obviously, you want to see a decent performance and account of ourselves, but the true test then again will be in the next couple of games. The four games in between the two Madrid ones. That's where you want to see tangible progress from last year on to this. But tonight we can just go into it essentially a free hit and really test ourselves and see where we're at against the champions of Europe.
I mean, free hit, massive opportunity as well. I think. I mean, imagine even you avoid defeat tonight. I feel like it just gives you a real foothold in the group. But I think you're right. Worst comes to the worst, tonight, and we don't get anything. Our fate in the Champions League isn't going to be decided by the games against Real Madrid. It's going to be those 4 middle games. But I do think if we can get a result tonight, it just gives us a real foothold and a real advantage going into these matches. You talk about things being written. I have been convinced, and you can look back at my tweets for months, that since we qualified that we're going to get Real Madrid, and then when the draw was made, I was totally convinced it would be first game up at Celtic Park. I said it so many times, and it happened. And I've been totally convinced throughout it as well that we're going to get a result, and nothing has changed that. And yeah, the last bit might not happen, but whatever happens, it's just amazing to be back.
Real Madrid as well. I don't see them getting 18 points out of this group, right? So they will drop, I feel, and I think it could be key if we can be the ones that maybe pick up those points. They very rarely do pick up 6 wins out of 6, and we're catching them at the start of the group stages. It's like you said, it could all go wrong. We've got to temper that because the people will be like, oh, we're getting too excited. But no, that's what it's all about, and that's what Ange was saying. Why should he put, temper at people's expectations? This is what it's all about. Like under Rodgers, like you said, there was often games that you'd go into and you'd be like, this is not going to go well. You're just more in hope rather than, Whereas tonight, you genuinely feel the place could, go mental. That, in the first 10, 15 minutes, you can see an early goal for us.
Yeah.
It'll be,
special thoughts. Right, let's just go through some of your comments. Thanks everyone for tuning in. God, over 800 of you Sky even work right now, plus us too, so thanks very much for that. Ancelotti has never won at Celtic Park in 3 attempts. We just mentioned that, which is interesting. I think he was asked about that as well yesterday. Max asking if we're out boozing already. Very tempting. We'll probably give that half an hour and then get on with that kind of stuff. And Robert asking, how are you two going to stay calm for the next 7 hours? What have we got, everyone? We've got just under 7 hours till kick-off.
I don't think it's going to happen. I'm meant to be. This is my lunch break on work, so the day's going to drag in. But that's what it's all about. It's that whole build-up as you walk towards the stadium, and just even I like to go in early for these kind of games and just watch the warm-ups and just take it all in. The roar when the Champions League, that's my favourite part of it all. Because it's just an absolute, it just drowns. I think the Man City one was probably one of my favourite ones. It's like, I don't know if we're going to talk about kind of previous favourite games, was it? But
go for it if you want.
Like, you look at back, I think the Man City one was obviously special, but we drew there. But I'm going even way back to Martin O'Neill's times where we beat Juventus 4-3. That was a special one. Again, it was just like a sheer belief in that squad at the time that we're more than good enough at this level, and that's what really gets the fans on board when you see the players really, really believe in themselves. So yeah.
Is that your prediction tonight? 4-3.
Are we on to predictions already?
Yeah, go for it.
I think 2-1 Celtic.
2-1.
2-1 Celtic.
I'll go 3-2 Celtic. How about that? Wow, we've just both predicted Celtic to beat Real Madrid, so it's going well. We've not even touched drink yet, so God knows how we're going to feel at about 6 o'clock. Right, we will round this off, I think, and let you all get on with your day. One wee shout out for Stephen Beard and Che Beard, as El Beardy Gaming wants to give you a shout out before the game, so hopefully that's got you up for the game. Thanks everyone for tuning in live. A reminder that we will not have a live reaction for you tonight. We will have something for you. It won't be live tomorrow. I think Stevie is going to join me for that. He's actually in press after the game, so should hopefully be able to offer some insight on that, and we'll chat about the game and maybe speak to some other people as well. Hopefully that will be kind of early afternoon tomorrow. Also, another reminder, the young team are in action at 3 p.m. against Real Madrid's young team, live on BT Sport 1 there as well, so that will fill a couple of hours. We've also got Joe Ledley yesterday, if you're looking to fill half an hour. We've got Mila Jedinak on how Ange prepares his team for these big games, and so much more as well. You can rewatch us on Saturday reacting to 4-0 against Rangers as well if you fancy it. Asim, enjoy the game. I'm certainly going to try and enjoy the game. I hope you all do as well, and we will chat to you tomorrow. Come on, the Celtic.